Welcome to Soul Purpose Healing. I'm Beata, your host, and it's Sunday, May 25th. Boy, oh boy, it's a three in our numerical circles. And it's been just an amazing week for me. Just an amazing weekend. My life is amazing. Yesterday, I went to a funeral for a war veteran. The Diddy trial is just booming with lessons. And we have to talk about the culture. So let's get busy and let me just welcome my tiny house village. Wait a minute. We're going to take Becca Shea off for a minute. Yeah, Becca Shea come off, and we're going to put on. So come on in, and welcome. These are some exciting times. I'm so grateful for all the lessons that are coming our way. And it's a collective thing. If you're tuning in, you're here for all the lessons that the drama, the chaos is bringing us. Oh my goodness. Synchronicity is everywhere. And I just want to really, right now, before we get into the understanding the culture. Mama AZ, we are live on my show, so please tune in to the video I sent you, okay?
Oh, okay.
Shalom.
I didn't.
So I don't know what she's doing. Mama AZ is always connected. So she's saying she didn't get the video. So let me try again on another platform for her. I want her to tune in because we're covering a lot tonight. A lot. And I don't want anybody, if you've got friends, you want them to tune in because tomorrow is Memorial Day. So many of you I know will be off from work. And I want you to think about this day differently after this show. There's so much we're going to talk about. Culture. War is part of the culture, but we want to renew your memory because memorial is about memory. So before we get into the topic for tonight, let me just bring in Becca Shea because Becca Shea is one of my favorite artists and I play her most of the time. I play her a lot, I'll say it that way. And I want to bring her in because we want to welcome our ancestors with a little drumming. So if you have a drum, join in. And this song is about unity because the Most High loves unity. So I'm playing this music, this beat, this drumming to bring in unity, which will help get rid of the division that the elite are just preying on, wishing for, hoping for, working for. Division is their MO. So if you can get into the beat right now, let's just work on unity.
And heads blood has ransomed people for God. From every tribe and language, people, every nation. Where warriors are falling, there's a resurrection coming. It's your time to rise and shine. Wake up, you sleeping giant. The wounds of injustice are being healed by the peace. Oh, Yahweh is bringing us power through unity. Where warriors are falling, there's a resurrection coming. Dry bones come alive. Yeah, wake up, you sleeping giant. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. together we cry. Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. We cry out for your heartbeat, oh, give up your heartbeat. This is the hour to know whose side to stand by. Raise up a standard in battle for every fellow tribe. Our warriors are fighting, there's a revival igniting. Search for such a time. Yeah, arise, you blazing fire. Brave, stand firm and listen to your destiny. The rhythm of our Father moves with victory. Where warriors are fighting, there's a revival igniting. So my soul God and arise, blazing fire. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat, I feel it. I feel your heartbeat, I feel it. I feel it, I feel it. Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. We cry, Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. Together we cry, Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. We cry out for your heartbeat, oh, give up your heartbeat.
So we are coming together tonight to uplift culture. I got a text from a friend, which has started my thinking on this subject about the white community in South Africa. There's a community called Orania who has bought land outside of the capital of South Africa. In fact, this community is in the middle of South Africa, the country of South Africa, on the continent of Africa, okay? And African Americans should be especially interested in this story because we who don't know what to call ourselves, Negroes, Blacks, African Americans, Black Americans, Native Americans, we're so divided on this topic of culture. And if the Diddy trial doesn't show you how divided we are, that's a whole nother misconception and confusion. But we're so divided about culture in the Black community. And Africa is in the news. And it's no coincidence. This is no coincidence. Thank you, Crow. Did you hear that, Crow? Just affirmed what I just said. I always have crows land on my son's roof when I'm talking about something that needs affirming. And that crow just showed up. Thank you. So there's all this news about refugees coming from South Africa to America and a genocide going on in South Africa. And it's so relevant. We're going to really understand more about how relevant all this is. Because what we know for sure is that South Africa has been through a tumultuous time with apartheid and violence, just like America, though. No difference. In fact, when we talk about, we're going to start tonight talking about Memorial Day. What does that really mean? There is a great history that many of you probably are unfamiliar with. So I want to show you why the history of Black Wall Street. Let's see, what's the one? The Forgotten Legacy. No, the Forgotten Legacy of Memorial Day. That's the one. Because I did not know this, but I think it's the perfect time. It's the perfect time for us to learn a little bit about the history of Memorial Day. Let's not go into this day thinking we need to raise a flag and woo-hoo-hoo, yay, yay, yay. No, those days have passed because we're not ignorant about the bloodsuckers in our government and all that they've been doing to shed more blood over the years. And it's worse now than ever. Ugh. So I want to share with you the Forgotten Legacy. Here's my legacy here. Number 752, my dad. I'm his legacy. And we're going to look at the forgotten legacy of Memorial Day. because I'm sure most of you don't realize what was going on. Civil War, all that, that's what started Memorial Day. And it got twisted and turned and shaped and reshaped. But let's just start our discussion with a little history that is just so important that we understand this culture called America and war. Okay, that's what it's all about, war and America.
Well, today I'm going to tell the story about formerly enslaved people in Charleston and the very first celebration of Memorial Day. You can reach out to me at onemichistory.com in the contacts page. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so on my Buy Me Coffee on my Patreon page in the description below. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and support the YouTube channel. But without further ado, let's get started. Memorial Day celebrates and commemorates the brave soldiers that lost their lives during all American conflicts, but its roots are based in America's deadliest conflict, the Civil War. Born out of necessity due to the colossal amount of lives lost during the conflict, at least 600 to 800,000 Union and Confederate soldiers perished. To remember their lives, the first National Memorial Day was observed May 30th, 1868. The origins of Memorial Day, though, are hotly contested, with many cities in the United States each claiming to be the birthplace of the first celebration. Previously, the earliest annual commemoration was thought to be organized by women of the Civil War Hospital in Columbus, Mississippi. The ceremony was held in honor of fallen soldiers by laying flowers at their graves in April of 1866. But historians have long sought to shed light on freed African Americans in Charleston, South Carolina, who conducted an even earlier Memorial Day observance. This celebration would occur in 1865 and was the Decoration Day. David Blight, a professor of American history at Yale University, was doing research on the Civil War in 1996 when he was given the opportunity to examine 2 boxes of unsorted material from Union veterans from Harvard's Houghton Library. He discovered a handwritten story detailing an 1865 march on a racetrack accompanied by a date referencing an article in the New York Tribune and a file labeled First Decoration Day. The racetrack in question was Washington Racecourse and Jockey Club in Charleston, South Carolina. In the late stages of the Civil War, the Confederate Army repurposed the Washington Racetrack and Jockey Club, a luxurious country club and horse racing track in Charleston, South Carolina, to hold Union prisoners of war. The makeshift prison was located in an open-air field of the racetrack. Sadly, 250 Union captives would perish from disease and exposure while being held at the site, and their bodies were hastily buried in an unmarked mass grave. When Confederate soldiers evacuated Charleston, newly emancipated Black people remained in the badly damaged city, and one of the first things they did was honor fallen Union soldiers. Approximately 10 days leading up to the event, they exhumed a mass grave and reinterred the bodies in a new cemetery along a whitewashed fence that was inscribed with the words, "The Martyrs of the Racecourse," in black letters. May 1st, 1865, approximately 10,000 people attended a large-scale memorial gathering to honor the fallen Union soldiers. During this event, 3,000 children from the local Black schools marched around the racetrack holding roses and singing the Union hymn of John Brown's body. Reverends would lead the attendees in prayer, spirituals, and other religious activities during the event. Union officers, missionaries, and Black pastors also frequently delivered speeches to commemorate the fallen soldiers. The people at the memorial gathering sang numerous patriotic songs, including, and not limited to, America, We Will Rally the Flag, and the Star Spangled Banner. To close out the day, later in the afternoon, 3 white and Black regiments from the Union Army marched around the graves in a choreographed drill, and this tribute was documented in both the Charleston Daily Courier and the New York Tribune. This Memorial Day observance, organized by freed enslaved people, was at least a year before any other U.S. city and 3 years before the national observance, making the gathering on that Charleston racetrack the earliest Memorial Day commemoration on record. In the wake of the American Civil War, by 1868, General John A. Logan of the Union Army directed the commemoration of Memorial Day on September 30th, urging Americans to honor the deceased combatants by decorating their graves with flowers. And by 1889, Memorial Day was a national holiday. White Charlestonians quickly forgot about the 1865 gathering at the racetrack by formerly enslaved people. Evidence of this event wouldn't appear again until 1916 correspondence between the United Daughters of the Confederacy chapter in New Orleans and their counterpart in Charleston, in which it was asked about a big parade of freed slaves on a horse track at the very end of the war. The Charleston office will respond that I regret that I am unable to gather any official information to answer this. Subsequently, in the late 1880s, the horse track and country club was torn down, and the remains of the Union soldiers were relocated to a more prestigious gravesite in Beaufort National Cemetery. In doing so, the story of the first Memorial Day was almost entirely forgotten, but not by the African Americans in Charleston, South Carolina. In a speech at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History, David Blight discussed that he was doing a story about Memorial Day's origin. After his talk, an older Black woman would approach him. She would state, "You mean the story is true? I grew up in Charleston. My granddaddy used to tell stories of a parade at an old racetrack, but we never knew whether to believe him or not. You mean that's true?" MOVE was founded by John Africa in 1972 to introduce a communal organization that was based on anno-primitivism philosophy. These philosophies promoted a return to a non-civilized way of life through reject.
So there you have it. The history of Memorial Day, which we hardly ever hear about, started back in the South of the United States with soldiers of dark skin killing each other. 600,000 to 800,000 lives in the Civil War. Oh, I'm so tired of this war story. But it's a different war. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is understanding, overstanding the divine order and timing of everything is so important these days. Divine order and timing. If you go into that mindset that everything is in divine order and timing. Let me tell you a little story that happened yesterday at the funeral. It just blew my mind because, again, divine timing and order, everything. So my two sons and I and my son's girlfriend showed up at a funeral of a man who was just amazing in our lives. He was like my kids' uncles. And by the way, he was white. So doesn't matter, but I want you to hear the story in a different light. And so their dad was late to the funeral. Everybody was seated, and the son of the deceased started the funeral. In walks my ex, or my son's father, comes down the middle aisle while the pastor is talking, the deceased pastor's son, and he stops in mid-sentence and says, "Hi, Felix, glad you made it." He stops his speech to greet my ex, the only Black man in the place other than his family. So my ex sits right by on the aisle. Instead of sitting with us, he sits on the aisle. Now, here I am thinking he's late. We're all like, well, where is he? Where is he? He comes in late. So he's sitting on the aisle seat. And at the end, fast forward here, because I don't want to take you through all the hymns we had to sing about Jesus and all that, because it's a very Christian show. And at the end of the service, he said, we're gonna let the first row go first, the deceased family. We're gonna let them go first. And as they got up and left, they all stopped at my ex's and shook his hand. Every single family member, all white now, stopped and shook his hand, because my ex, my son's father, Mama AZ hates for me to call him my ex, but my former spouse, was sitting on the end of the aisle by himself in the middle, and every single family member stopped to shake his hand and greet him, because he and the deceased were best friends. I mean, best buddies. Throughout my marriage, this guy, DR, was always around for graduations, ceremonies, everything. We went to his wedding. And so now he's 88 years old in the casket. Just to show you divine timing. He wasn't late for the funeral at all, because he had to sit where he needed to sit so that the whole family would come by and shake his hand and greet him and honor him. Anyway, I digressed a little, but that was just a divine timing moment that shocked all of us, because if he hadn't sat there, if he had sat with us, we had him all the way over on the other side of the pew, they would not have seen him, and they would not have respected and honored him with a handshake. Blew my mind, because divine timing is everything, everything. So back to the story of culture war. Culture war. We're in a war. Oh, yeah. We're still in a war. I wish it would end, but it hasn't. So in the meantime, we have to learn the lessons. We can learn the lessons. So my next video for you is about Black Wall Street. For those of you who may not be familiar, we're going to give you a little summary of it, because it so much lines up with Oklahoma and the Trail of Tears. It just blew, everything's blowing my mind lately, the divine order of things and timing. If you don't know the Trail of Tears, it's going, this little video, which I was surprised to find, is going to remind us. Remember, Memorial Day, it's all about checking your memory, to actually tapping into your memory of what is important today about our history. There's a lot of Black people today worried about the president erasing our history. That's not going to happen. I'm telling you, it can't happen. For one, we got lots of things on YouTube to remind us. And we have one of my guests coming up. It wrote a book about all the Black American history you need to know. But it's shows like this and these videos that you can learn what's really important about the history of dark-skinned people in this country. So let me share with you this very important history of Oklahoma and Black Wall Street. It just blew my mind how they actually put this together in this video. So much we can learn from it, because this is about something in 1921, but then you have the history of the Trail of Tears that happened before that, but all of it was in Oklahoma. No coincidences. No coincidences. We are living in synchronicity and divine order every day. Every day. And the more you look at history and things like this, you realize, oh my goodness, it's all divine. And then as we get into South Africa, you're going to really see the connection to all of this. So this is about understanding the story of Black Wall Street that goes back to the Trail of Tears, all taking place in Oklahoma.
The Greenwood District was one of the most prominent and affluent Black communities in the country. It was a symbol of what is possible for Black people in America. But to understand the story of Black Wall Street, we have to go back to the Trail of Tears.
First Black people to come to Oklahoma were actually members of the Native American tribes.
The 5 tribes, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, Creek, and Seminole, were slave-holding tribes. Some of them wanted to show that they were in allyship by mimicking what like the white settlers are doing.
Indigenous people were affected by anti-Black racism. That process invited them into the slaveholder culture, even as they were subject to the worst forms of oppression and discrimination of themselves.
When the 5 tribes signed a removal treaty, they had to remove their Black slaves too.
The Indian Removal Act of 1830 forcibly evicts Native American tribes in the Southeast and transfers their lands to white farmers to expand cotton plantations. Over 100,000 Native Americans and approximately 4,000 enslaved African Americans make the treacherous journey to Indian Territory, now known as Oklahoma. The over 5,000-mile brutal and deadly removal is known as the Trail of Tears and Death.
When everybody got to Oklahoma, through many different ways. Black people were still enslaved here. They still were property. And they had to rebuild what the Indian tribes had in the Deep South.
After the Civil War, you had freedmen living in Oklahoma.
You have a freed Black population able to live on tribal lands in a communal way.
The Dawes Act passed in 1887, allowing the federal government to break up tribal lands into individual plots.
Black people in Oklahoma owned more land than in any other part of the country. About 2 million acres of land were allotted to the freedmen. So when you think about 40 acres and a mule and that false promise after the Civil War, Black people actually got that in Oklahoma.
Those land allotments become the seeds of more than 50 Black towns that emerged in Oklahoma. More than any other state in the country.
Once the 5 tribes received their allotment, then whatever was left, that was deemed surplus, and the government opened it for sale to whoever wanted to buy it.
O.W. Gurley was a Southerner who hailed from Arkansas, who came to Tulsa to purchase land. The land that Greenwood exists on was not land that whites at the time deemed as valuable, but it's land that could be sold to quote unquote a Negro buyer. Gurley purchases an allotment of land. His goal was to incubate a Black community.
O.W. Gurley opened a grocery store on what would become Greenwood Avenue. He was really able to tap into a lot of dynamics happening throughout the state where people would be traveling through different communities, and some of the freedmen ended up settling in Greenwood. They were able to provide some of that nurturing wealth.
Land for recently enslaved people is everything, because we have to imagine a world in which an enslaved person did not have property rights in themselves.
In the culinary world, the debate over steak doneness is almost as intense as the marbling in the beef itself. For decades, chefs and critics and celebrities have passionately defended their favorite.
So, the connection, Trail of Tears, Native Americans, and then the land came up for sale, and he wanted to incubate the Black community, and he bought the land, built an amazing community of professionals and businesses in Oklahoma, and the United States government bombed the area because of their progress and their advancement and whatever other psychopathic methods or reasons for doing what this government does. The funny thing is, my dad, this is his 25, he was playing for Nevada in this uniform, Nevada, back in the late 40s. His team flew into Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was trying to find the year. Oh, University in 1948, October 23rd. This man, being the only Black man on the team, there were 2 Black men on the University of Nevada team, flew into Tulsa, Oklahoma. That University of Oklahoma was all white. They did not want him. They did not want them there to play. But my dad's coach said, if they don't play, we don't play. So his coach stood up for him. They played, and they slaughtered them. Let me give you it was like 65-14. It was a slaughter. 2 Negro players could play for Joe Schlittesky, that was his name. And the final score was something like 65 to something. So it's in his, 65 to 14. Divine timing, divine timing. We got back at him in football. So divine order, divine timing is always at work, even today, even today. So today, let's come up to 2025. Let me see. We got comments here. I don't want to miss any comments. Somebody says, hey, Cuff is in YT seats. What? Hey, Kufi is in. Oh, Kufi. Okay. Hi, Kufi. Your dad's had talents and brains. Absolutely. Thank you. And I'm his legacy. He lived to be 95. But that's why we wrote this book, the legend and legacy of an African-American NFL pioneer. The struggle continues. 2025. Let's move it up. We're going to make a long story short. We're now talking and looking at South Africans are coming to America, quote, as refugees. And some people are debating, well, they're not really refugees. And then the president of the United States brings the South African president to embarrass the hell out of him. Look at these videos showing that you're going to kill the Boers. You're going to kill the Boers. So with all that controversy about South Africans running from murdering, killing Black Africans, there's a community in the middle of South Africa called Orania. And my friend sent me the video about it. So I looked at several of them because a lot of Black people are Black men are going over there to interview the Oranians to find out, well, how does a all-white community in South Africa survive and live and all that. So some people are upset. How could they do that? How could they move out of the chaos and develop their own community? I'm going to show you how that's been done. Well, Black Wall Street was the first to do it, and the United States government didn't like that. So here we are in South Africa being connected with the refugees coming over here. And let me show you what this sister breaks it down to actually be about. And this is how we come up to 2025, because this sister breaks it down in a way that I don't think you can dispute what she's saying. She says, Orania is not your problem. People want to... She brings out so much in this, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, but she brings out so much in this. And I think she's from either South Africa or UK. But people are trying to say this is racist. The Boers or Afrikaners leaving the turmoil in Pretoria or wherever the capital is and buying land, just like what we did here in America with Black Wall Street. We did the same thing. And the Native Americans, everybody tried to move away from the chaos and develop their own communities. This is the solution to culture wars. Recognizing, what is your culture? Are you a Didi culture? Are you Hebrew Israelite culture? But developing your own community, this sister got it right. Let me show you what she has to say, which is just, mwah, I love it. Orania, which is the community in the middle of South Africa, that white folks decided they don't want to be in the chaos down south, so they developed their own community. And this is what she has to say about all the controversy. It's racist, blah, 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 blah. Here we go.
Children go to your schools, whether you want them there or not. Let us drink and dance in your establishments, whether we...
Wait a minute. Okay, here we go.
Play with us, whether you want to play with us or not. Let us build our houses next to yours, whether you want us in your neighborhood or not. Let our children go to your schools, whether you want them there or not. Let us drink and dance in your establishments, whether we behave or not. Culture, culture, culture. Not all cultures are good and not all cultures should be promoted. We have said and shown it in several videos that bad culture should not be allowed to contaminate the rest of the nation simply because we don't want to seem racist or discriminatory. Yes, the government has given us all the rights to practice all religions, all sexualities, cultures, and behaviors. It is your right, but a citizen or an owner of an establishment cannot be forced to embrace things that they do not agree with. We've all read the sign in private establishments, right? Right of admission reserved. Orania is not a government establishment. It's a private one. And like all private property, they reserve the right to decide who they let in. Now imagine if Orania allowed people from this neighborhood into their property. There's a certain culture that they seem to be aiming to have around them. A culture which I bet many blacks, whites, coloreds, and Indians in South Africa also try to live by. The people of Orania may be racist. I don't know. And I don't care. Why? Because it's their land. They're not doing it on public property that my taxes contribute to. It's their land and they should be allowed to do as they please on their land, just as every other South African is allowed to do as they wish on their land. The report says that they bought that land, so who are you to tell them what to do on their land? Who are you to tell them who or what to permit on their land? Who dictates who or what you should permit in your yard, your home, or your land? As long as it's yours, you decide and no one can say anything about it. So what makes Orania different? A society that does not discriminate will find itself in the hands of destructive radicals soon enough. And this is not me promoting racism, as I know some of you will make it out to seem. For example, not every child is allowed to play with our children. We discriminate and say only children with certain manners or children who come from certain homes are allowed to play with our children. If we fail to exercise some discrimination and allow any boy or any girl to spend hours with our children, we may see our children start using language that we do not approve of, asking to watch things that we do not allow them to watch, or looking up to people that we have been trying to protect them from. So we exercise some discrimination. There are certain cultures that I, as a black person, will not accept or embrace, regardless of the race of the person who follows that culture. Do you know what I think many people have issues with? The fact that Orania is succeeding in being self-sufficient. They seem to have a higher standard of living than the rest of the government-run South Africa. And I think if things were going well for the rest of South Africa, nobody would even look at Orania twice. So my advice to every person who's having some chest pains regarding Orania is this: learn to own your own things. Learn to build your own things. Learn to succeed at your own things. And if you don't want to hear it from me, hear it from one of the most celebrated black people in the world, Malcolm X.
And if we can't do it, we should hush our mouth. If you can't do for yourself what the white man is doing for himself, don't say you're equal with the white man. If you can't set up a factory like he sets up a factory, don't talk that old equality talk.
That's some essential education about self-determination for many black South Africans. If you cannot step up and set up a factory that a white man can set up for himself, don't say you are equal to the white man. If you cannot do for yourself what the white man can do for himself, don't call yourself equal to the white man. How can you want equality when the things that you do show inferiority? Seriously, guys, those were words from decades ago, before there were even color TVs, decades before the ANC took over this country. And it seems that even in 2025, many black South Africans still do not understand the value of rising up and standing up for themselves. This is embarrassing, guys, very embarrassing. You think that you're revolutionaries by attacking what the people of Orania have managed to achieve, but really you're exposing yourselves to be bitter people that have failed to band together to achieve something similar for yourselves.
Get off the welfare. Get out of that compensation line. Be a man. Earn what you need for your own family. Then your family respects you. They are proud to say, that's my father. She's proud to say, that's my husband. Father means you're taking care of those children. Just because you made them, that don't mean you're a father. Anybody can make a baby, but anybody can't take care of it. Anybody can go and get a woman, but anybody can't take care of a woman.
Did you hear that, foolish Ramaphosa? Did you hear that, foolish Malema?
Don't be lazy. Please, don't be lazy. Enzana bantwana SG, lingalali. When we leave here, sicela ukuthi nibe busy. Please. And I don't care whether you are poor or not. Enzana abantwana. Comrades, enzana abantwana. Ngizawukhokhela mna. Because siyayidabula a child grant from 510 to 1,020 rand.
Making a baby does not make you a father. The ANC has allowed and even encouraged people to make.
Now, this man is the problem, she says. He's the head of the ANC, African National Congress. And I'm going to stop that here. That man who just spoke in the red, he's the video that Trump played as accusing him of killing Afrikaners. They have a pretty radical agenda over there, the ANC. And that woman was describing in more detail. The video goes on another 10, 15 minutes. But the sister was saying, the ANC is saying, have more babies. We're going to have more babies. And she says, have more babies? That's not the solution. How about teaching people how to be good fathers? I'm totally agreeing with that. But the ANC is, she says, is the problem in South Africa. And many people believe that's what's going on. I don't know, I don't live there, but when you look at a lot of the reports from South Africa, the ANC, and that's who Trump was focusing on in the White House with the president, it's like, look at what he's saying. They were saying they're going to kill the whites, kill the Boers, kill the whatever. They've been radical about that, taking land, taking people without compensation. Okay. So they got a problem, but the Iranians are establishing a separate community with morals, with rules, with discipline. Here in America, let's come on back on home to America. All you African Americans, let's come back on home and look at reality. This is a reality check tonight, brothers and sisters. Memorial Day is here. And we got to check our memories of what we have been through in this country and where we are now. We're in trouble. Houston, we got a problem, big problems in the Black community. And we got a lot of educated people, but we also don't have the mind to develop our own communities in life for most of us. Now, I think this is Kofi. He says, all because of what Ibrahim Traore is doing, no one was harming white South Africans. Man, that's not true. There might not be a lot of them harming them, but they definitely are getting radical about that. The South African president met with President Donald Trump and said that it's an Elon Musk issue. It's okay. Okay, Elon Musk started this because he could not put his Starlink in South Africa because they got different rules for white folks. That's the way it is after all those years of apartheid horror and segregation and oppression and murder of Black folks. This is where we are in South Africa. Elon Musk goes over there. He wants to put in a Starlink. And, well, you too white. Go away. So Elon comes back to Big Trump and says, hey, they commit genocide over there because I can't get my Starlink in. That's basically what's political stuff going on. And then Trump brings the president over of South Africa and embarrasses the hell out of him, showing him all these horrible videos. And Kofi also says, it let Africa get their land back as we are in America. Okay, there's a process to it, Kofi. They're not going to just give us land. You got to maneuver. You can buy land in Oklahoma, probably Mississippi, anywhere for cheap. Do you know what the problem is? We do not want to leave the inner cities. We are stuck and addicted to crowded, congested inner cities. With all that land out there, Black folks say, no, I want the convenience of having 7-Eleven and this and that and that and that. I ain't leaving. I'm not leaving. So don't complain then. Don't complain, because there's plenty of land in America for you to go out. And I'm going to show you one my favorite Beulah land at Tempo Kipharim. They're my sisters and brothers who did just that. My brother Prince Israelite got the brains to find solutions, and he bought land, and now he's developing a community just like the Iranians, just like it, independent, separate. But here's the problem we got to look at, the culture check in America. This was so funny to watch this, and this is where the problem lies in our culture decline in America. You got to enjoy, you got to laugh at this somewhat, but this sister is just on point again. We got a lot of people paying attention, and she thinks kind of like me. I don't like to judge, but I like her train of thought, and she seems educated and articulate. So culture check, public appearances still matter, but some people don't believe that.
Left wondering why bonnets are now the new baseball cap. It's even so popular now that Kim K and Northwest are actually promoting it. It's ghetto. It's always been ghetto. And we're going to talk about it in a culture check.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey guys, welcome back to Chrissy Comments. And I know I did the cardinal sin, okay? You are not supposed to walk into the beauty supply store when you go get some hair and judge people, all right? This is where we go. I get it, okay? We can go looking busted, wig off, dookie braids. I get it, okay? This is a place that no judgment zone. But I will be damned if I will see my young Black women running around the streets, okay, in public in bonnets. I mean, they already are doing it, but I'm done with it. I'm calling it out. So let's talk about my recent trip. I was at the beauty supply store, and I've honestly, I don't know whether it's the first time just me noticing, there's bonnets everywhere. And it was everybody, and it ranged from young girls to older women. Everyone is walking around, I kid you not, in slippers and bonnets. And I was like, what happened? Like, I get it if our hair is busted underneath, but what happened to putting on a cap? That's what we used to do back in the day. You put the baseball cap on. And it's a shame. It is an absolute shame to see such young, beautiful women walk around in public, to me, just unkept. That is unkept. You're not dressed properly to be walking around in public. Okay, so let's get into Kim K and Northwest. Now, it hit me when I saw this on TikTok. I said, there we go. They are trying to infiltrate the culture again. This time, Kim's too old now, right? So they got to get the young kids to do it. They got to get their little biracial kids to do it. And so I think I'm being a conspiracy theorist. They are putting bonnets on these girls' heads, having them walk around in public because they want to resonate with young Black youth, young Black culture. Okay, that is the next culture vulture move. So apparently they were spotted coming out of like some spa, and that is why they're in pajamas, I guess, and slippers. They're coming out of some spa, and you see North with a bonnet on her head. And listen, there's a lot of controversy going on around this. People are saying, oh, it's not a big deal. It's okay. And, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm putting too much into it. They were going to a spa. They had on their little pajamas, mother-daughter time. It was fun. But it's the messaging behind it. It is a messaging which is, to me, it is telling the young Black youth that it is okay to walk around midday in pajamas and a bonnet, and it is not okay. It matters because this is, once again, cultural dilution. This is what this family is notorious for. They are able to promote this lounge, streetwear, pajamas, and bonnets aesthetic without actually having to live with its repercussions. Kim K and Northwest can afford to walk around in a bonnet all day long, because they got money, they got power, they have resources. The average person, the average you and me does not. We cannot afford that imagery. And we really should not sit idly by and let the Kardashian family use their biracial children to influence our young Black youth and our young Black women. Black women have already been disillusioned into thinking that we had to go get big bums. Now we're out here with nasty fat asses all over the place because of Kim K and her sisters. And I see it happening. I see it happening with her child, Northwest. She is trying to use this girl to attract the young Black culture. And I think it's working because, like I said, all those girls in the beauty salon store, they had to be 13, 14, 15, 16, had a.
So I just think that's hilarious, but it's so true. Oh my goodness. Culture, she calls it cultural dilution. Anybody who objects to that truth, let me hear from you. Cultural dilution and imagery. Same thing. All you have to do is go to Walmart and you see the same thing. It's the people have videos on YouTube about Walmart experience. It's the same cultural dilution, and not even Black culture. It's like when you go to Walmart, every race is doing crazy stuff. So you can be really entertained at Walmart and places like she said, beauty supply houses and all that. So why is that important? Okay. Kufi says the leaders lead with ignoring the noise. The followers create the chaos. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So cultural dilution. So here we are. Cultural dilution for many years. Nobody's checking these youth. Hey, get off the street with your pants hanging off your butt. Hey, get off the street. Get that hand. Nobody's checking these people. I think Monique checked some of the women at one time, and they tried to crucify her. But here we are, all that cultural dilution, and where are we? We are being totally entertained by Diddy nonsense. Diddy depravity. Diddy. What's in the news right now? The depriving of the cultural dilution of Diddy to a level that I don't think some of us are like shocked at the cultural dilution, because Diddy was lifted up as this music mogul for a long time, helping young people, we thought, get into the music business. But behind the scenes, I call them the Zionist mafia, was at work once again, bringing cultural dilution. Kanye has talked about it for many years now, and he's really getting bold about it with Hitler and all that stuff. But it's crazy. It's crazy. So what are we to do? Well, I have a community called the Beulah Land at Temple. Keep hearing my brothers and sisters, who I know most of them personally, have had journey with them. They're the shining example of what needs to be done. Just like the Oranias in South Africa, we have to take back our culture. We have lost it. We have totally lost it. So I'm going to show you a little clip about the Temple Beulah Land community in Sparta, Georgia, where Prince the Israelite bought the land. You got to have somebody buy the land. There's plenty of land available in America. You just got to get out of the city, because you ain't going to find no cheap land in the city. So this is Memorial Day is a time to reflect on what your lifestyle is like that needs to be changed for the improvement of yourself first and for the community. Can you do anything different for the sake of your community, for the sake of the culture? How about just for the sake of the culture, that you begin to think twice about your lifestyle right now, and maybe you can improve everyone's lifestyle by making changes in your own. So Beulah Land is the shining example for us, for those who are stuck in the culture war, wearing your bonnets and your slippers, and you're doing all the crazy things that the community is doing these days. Here's an example of what can happen. But like the Orania community in South Africa, you got to have beliefs that are matching up, and the morals to go with it, and the discipline to go with it, which is severely lacking these days. But I want to just show you this community that I truly admire, what they've been doing and how it's changing the lives of so many people.
This is for the people in the front and the back, going through the day. You had a lot to do, and you know you got a lot on your plate. through the day. And although we got a lot to worry about, I just gotta stop and say, you got it, you got it, yeah, you got it, yeah, you got it. Put your foot on the pedal, don't you stop it, you got it, you got it, yeah, you got it. Keep on going, put your foot on the pedal, don't you stop it. Every day, life throws something at you, but be prepared to shift and you start anew. Gear, keep your life in motion, it's part of the commotion. Oh, stay the course, get your life on track, and whatever you do, there's no looking back. The load gets heavy for us sometimes, but let me sing this to you so that I can remind you got it, yeah, you got it, yeah, you got it. Put your foot on the pedal, don't you stop it. You got it, yeah, you got it. Keep on going. Put your foot on the pedal, don't you stop it.
Many more, but they always getting stuck. Thinking that the road's smooth, but it's kind of tough. It all could change up in a minute. As fast as change clothes after cleaning. You just have to put yours on. Spread your wings and just soar. Go. One day we all gonna see. Then we can roll. I see rise, just gotta believe. First you got to plant that seed. Don't let no one block it, keep it awakens out of reach. This is why, cause if you let them, they will bring you low. And you don't want that, just to let you know. I said that all to say you got it,
you got it, yeah, you got it, yeah, you got it. Put your foot on the pedal, don't you stop it. You got it, yeah, you got it. Keep on going. Put your foot on the pedal.
So Beulah Land is a community of cooperation, of unity and goal setting, just like Black Wall Street. That's how Black Wall Street started. People coming together, building and creating and using their skills and their gifts out on open land, which is available everywhere in the United States. You don't have to go to Africa because they got problems. They got problems. You got it. Yeah, thank you. Kofi says, yes, you got it. We do got it. But we are confused and we've been bamboozled by the Diddy crowd and the Diddy energy. He also says epistemicide, whatever that is about the destruction of knowledge. Yes, not just the physical destruction of books or institutions, but also the silencing and devaluing of ways of knowing. And that's what's been happening to the Black community. Diddy is a huge, huge lesson for us about allowing the cultural dilution, becoming more and more involved in materialism, drugs and alcohol. Let's not leave out the drugs and alcohol that have influenced the Diddy people. They wouldn't do the crazy shit, excuse my French, but they wouldn't do the crazy perverted acts that they've been doing if they didn't have drugs and alcohol. So the cultural dilution has come with being involved in the drugs and the alcohol. The alcohol is spirit. You know, every time when you go out shopping, sometimes you see the word spirits. That means alcohol. This is the cultural dilution that has occurred, that we have sunk to the lowest low with Diddy parties, HollyWeird activity. Everybody wants to be a star. That is how the women and the men got swept into those perverted acts. Everybody wants to be a star. How about you stop trying to be a star and build a community for your family and for other families? And we have, let's see. Kofi says our ancestors gave us the blueprint to build on the land. It's easy. This is what your Memorial Day ought to be about, remembering who your ancestors were and what they gave us. They gave us the blueprint, Black Wall Street. We can do it. We can do it. That's what we're here to do. And Robert Young says, many people do lots of things for fame and fortune, illusions. That's what the Diddy drama is all about. You can watch, you can hear about, watch all this courtroom drama, but if you don't come away with the lesson that is cultural dilution and total addiction to fame, fortune, coveting things like Kim Kardashian and Beyonce, and alcohol and drugs. This is a huge, huge lesson for everyone to look at the decay of the music industry and the community because of drugs and alcohol. Because I'm telling you, they wouldn't do that stuff if they weren't influenced by those substances. This is our moment. This is our moment. Allow your ancestors. Okay, we got that. Diddy gave all his victims drugs to weaken their consciousness. Exactly. Who is going to be laying up with all these strange people and doing what they've been doing without drugs and alcohol? Memorial Day should not be a day of celebration. It should be a day of fasting, remembering the cultural dilution, as she says it. The imagery that is gone of respectful men and women and of the melanin culture, walking with their heads up and their proud afros and their neat clothing, diluted. So let's make Memorial Day a day of fasting, of remembering memorial who we are and where we've come from and who our ancestors are, who are begging and pleading us to come back to the old ways, come back to the cultural ways, come back to the healthy traditions. Because we got a lot of traditions that are totally unhealthy now. And what do you say about that? What do you do about that? Memorial Day. If you're off from work, fasting and prayer, fasting and nature connection. Go out and hug some trees, nature connection. And Robert Young says, only if you are spiritual, carnal minds are distracted and deceived only because they don't know their purpose on the earth. Well, Robert Young, that's what soul purpose healing is for. We're here along with this beautiful community. Did I see Kwame on here? I thought I saw Kwame. Yeah. We have this beautiful community of conscious people. The systematic destruction. Oh yeah, Kwame, I read that. The systematic destruction of knowledge systems, particularly those of subordinated cultures, often in the context of colonialism and oppression. South Africa is coming out of an extremely colonialized environment, city, community. And now when they're trying to correct that, they're overcorrecting with, let's have more babies. As the woman said, I don't think that's the solution. But I think the solution is more, wherever you are in South Africa, America, Chicago, it's time for you to, okay, I'm going to take this, put a seed in the ground and watch it grow food and get a natural vision to build. It's easy when I did this, y'all. But But boo ha. That's Kofi. I think that's who we know as Kofi. And so we have all of this community, Robert Young, Kofi, Kwame, and all the sisters from the Female Solution who join me every week. We have community of people working to inspire you, educate you, transform your thinking about coming out of cultural dilution, because it really is a war. It's a war. It's a war not to become addicted to the drugs and alcohol. It's a war not to become addicted to the wigs. I said it, the wigs and the makeup and the eyelashes and all the things that are not going to improve your lifestyle really substantially or in a significant way. And Robert Young says, thank you for a program of healing minds, bodies, and soul. I can't help but do this. I have fun every week coming up with topics, researching, studying. And as a senior citizen, this is my job because I am so concerned about this younger generation. They're in trouble. Houston, we have a problem. And so each one of us have a responsibility to minister to whenever we have a chance. It's not easy. Because as I said on Friday, Mission Impossible is getting people to change their lifestyle. We don't need to be going to the sick care system to solve your cancer problem. They're gonna make it worse for you. And so any disease you have, if you think the medical sick care system is the solution, you're deceived. You're totally deceived. I've been in an argument about food. Not an argument. I won't say argument. The fact that RFK Jr. Is trying to get the poisons out of our food, the red dyes, the chemicals, all the chemicals that you can't read. If you ever read the box of whatever you bought in a box and you see 50 ingredients, do you really believe that that's food? I was in a debate about that today. She was saying, well, RFK Jr. shouldn't be taking our choices away from us. I'm like, choices? This is not food. It's chemicals. It's poison. So the debate was on whether or not RFK Jr., Human Health and Services Director, should be working to get poisons out of our food. And the person who had posted this position was saying, well, I should be able to eat whatever I want to eat. And I said, well, the government should be responsible for not allowing corporations to put poisons and chemicals in what's called food. It's not really food. When you look at the scripture that says your food has seeds in it. Can anybody tell me, have you found a watermelon with seeds lately? I'm searching all over the place. Can't find any watermelons with seeds. So I'm trying to grow my own because it's difficult to find a watermelon with seeds. I buy oranges or grapefruit. Sometimes there's no seeds in them, and yet they claim they're organic. So do you have a problem with the Human Health and Services Director trying to get poisons out of the food and cause or encourage corporations to produce real food as much as possible in a box? That's the debate we're having. The cultural war. That's the cultural war. Because our original organic culture, our ancestral culture was growing our own food. We weren't buying food in a grocery store. Think about the cultural war we're in right now, 2025. It's all about ignoring your ancestors. That's the war. Ignoring your ancestors versus going along with the okie dokie of Diddy and entertainment and all the other misconceptions and deceptions that they offer you in the grocery store even. That's the war you're in. War is about honoring your ancestors first. That's a mission impossible right now, because if you honor your ancestors first, you're going to have to be accountable to everything that happens in your life. No more victimhood. Oh, it's not my fault. I didn't know that was in the food. Oh, it's not my fault. I didn't know the jabs would kill my children. Oh, it's not my fault. It's their fault. It's the government's fault. Cultural war we're in. So we have to, an African healer here that I'm ready. Okay. Somebody sending me a text, but let me just, stars are only above. Awesome show to get it on. Okay, let me go back. Awesome show to get us all on point to just build and move on and stop talking about it, but be about it, make melanin babies and be blessed. Make melanin babies only if you're going to be responsible enough to take care of them. Don't make any babies if you don't first realize I've got to be in charge of this child's life for a while and I'm going to be responsible. Otherwise, keep your legs closed, good ladies. We're teaching our girls, keep your legs closed unless you're absolutely sure you have a partner who's going to join with you and take care of those babies. Otherwise, no babies. Stars are only above. See, that's the ancestral truth that people are not getting. Stars are only above. That's why we have the Diddy drama going on right now, because he deceived a lot of people into thinking money would get you the star role that you need. Thank you. Let's see. Fasting for 3 days will heal you and all your senses will be activated. Just drink water and watch what happens. Now, I really appreciate that statement, but let me give a clarification. Water alone is not what you want to be drinking. You need to be adding something to the water to structure it. Water alone is not structured. So to structure your water, put some lemon juice in it, grape juice, anything, grape juice, anything in it, but don't just drink plain water. I like coconut water. I'm thinking of starting a 3-day fast tomorrow because I've actually gained weight. And I'm like, where'd all this weight come from? Because I'm happy. And I'm eating a healthy. I'll eat basically one big meal a day and I'm gaining weight. So anyway, water, add something to it. Lemon, lime, anything, but don't just drink plain water. And if you can, drink coconut water because there's your electrolytes. And Kwame says, a memory of ancestral spiritual minds. Hallelujah. That's your goal tomorrow on Memorial Day. Have a memory of ancestral spiritual minds. Let's get into soul purpose tomorrow, not just barbecues and meat and food. Because that's what happens. The scriptures say about traditions, you nullify my word with your traditions. The word is asking us to evolve and be more spiritual. Memorial Day is usually a gluttonous feast of barbecue and potato salad and all that. By the way, I was at this funeral. Does anybody put raisins or no? Does anybody put pork in their macaroni and cheese? I scooped up some macaroni and cheese yesterday, and when I got to the table, I tasted, I'm like, what's in this macaroni and cheese? And I looked and I'm like, oh, it's pork. There were little pieces of pork. It's like somebody made a comment about raisins in the potato salad. Talk about cultural traditions. Did anybody grow up with raisins in their potato salad? Did anybody grow up with pork in their macaroni and cheese? Not me. This man was from New Orleans, just a little side. And we had a lot of gumbo in my house and red beans and rice. Regular red beans and rice, catfish, and gumbo. We had the best gumbo. And even his second and third wives all knew how to make good gumbo. So I'm grateful for that. Thanks, Dad, for choosing women. I think he trained my mother how to make good gumbo because he knew. Anyway, that's just a little side of good cultural traditions. Juice the watermelon seeds. Yeah, you know what, Kofi? Somebody showed me how to grind up the watermelons on a YouTube video. Grind up the watermelon seeds and actually make flour out of them. And they made some kind of cake or pasta. I forget what it was. That's why they've taken the seeds out of everything, because they know the value of these seeds. Just like the buffalo with the Native Americans, the psychopathic government tried to destroy all the bison and buffalo to destroy the Native Americans because that was their food, their shelter, everything. And they tried to destroy it. Well, look what's happening now, the cultural war in the United States. They're taking the seeds out of everything. Blah, 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 blah. It just pisses me off that everything is, so this is why you got to grow your own food. If you want real food, and then get those watermelon seeds, don't throw them away, but juice them. And he says, follow your ancestors' family spirits in your dreams. Yes, if you have dreams. And Kwame, addiction to Wi-Fi. Tomorrow, let's try and turn off the Wi-Fi, to turn off the phones, but do something drastic. End the cultural war tomorrow by going back to ancestral practices like no Wi-Fi. How about that? Oh my goodness, we got work to do. Houston, we have a problem in America. And Kufi says YouTube, the Orion star sound. I agree. Don't make babies right now until you can provide for them. Become a star in the sky. And we are star seeds of light from the cosmic order. So remembering who we are tomorrow, not who they want us to be, meaning the government, Memorial Day, honor the fallen, honor the wars that have been fought. No, we want to end the wars. That's the goal, end the wars. And Kufi says, yes, herbs with water is the benefits. Yes, put something in your water if you're going to fast. Don't just drink plain water. Turn off your phone, back to nature. Kwame is suggesting and encouraging and motivating us tomorrow. Let's just start tomorrow. Memorial Day, good time to start remembering our ancestors. Turn your phone off and just go out in nature wherever you are. Spend the day in the park, hugging trees, going barefoot. All of those things will end the cultural war. We can say we are in charge. And Kufi says, yes, thank you, Kwame. Listen to our ancestors and not your neighbors. Hallelujah. And water will get you high. 12 dimensions of creativity. Absolutely. So there you have it. Your day tomorrow is all planned. If you choose. And I have the author of the book, The Best Black American History Book, which I just downloaded, Anisha Johnson. She's going to be my guest one day when she can let me know her schedule. She says, an African healer here at the African Festival in Redding, California, worked on my legs last night with shea butter that he prayed on. Was a very unique method. I feel so much better. So grateful and amazed because I've had the intention of attracting an ancient holistic approach. I knew there had to be some. I will visit him in Oakland for further treatment. He also gave me herbs. I'm grateful to the cosmos. He came to sell clothes and wares, but a friend saw me and told me I needed help. I needed help. All these people in our midst who have these ancestral wisdom and knowledge that we can draw on to end this war. Otherwise, we're going to see a lot of funerals, I'm afraid. Not afraid, but it's reality. I love funerals because I really think about where this person's life was before they ended up in that casket, and how many people. The church of this man I funeral went to was full. It was packed. And as I said, my family was the only Black family there out of the whole packed church, and my husband, my ex, showed up. And I think there was one Black person in the back, but this guy did not have a lot of Black friends, but he connected to my dark-skinned spouse at the time, and they were big buddies. One of the reasons I think they were so close is because they worked together at Delta Airlines, and my ex had high integrity, and he took his job very seriously. And this man who died, who we went to the funeral, he was his boss. So he developed a lot of respect for my son's father. And over the years, they became so close friends that it didn't matter about race. He didn't have any other Black friends, I don't think, but this man, because this man has high integrity, character, always. He didn't miss one day of work the whole time I was married with him. I think the only time he missed work, we were in a car accident in Chicago, and he ended up in the hospital. Only time he missed work. Otherwise, every day, flu or anything at work. This is our cultural dilution that has been lost. Integrity, work ethic, building, all those things. Can we get back to that? Can we get back to that? We got more comments here that say, Kufi, don't follow the global war engine. Hug a tree tomorrow. Thank you. We're reminding everybody what you're going to do tomorrow for Memorial if you choose. Yes, Georgia farmer selling seeded watermelon. Please send me one. Can you please send me a watermelon? My watermelons are not going to be sprouting right away. In fact, I got squirrels. I'm trying to feed the squirrels nuts and things so they stop eating my vegetables. But I'm praying my watermelon will sprout. I need to travel to Georgia then. But enjoy the seeded watermelon, Kwame, and save the seeds. Save the seeds for me. And Kufi says, we're all just melanin babies escorted by the sun energy being. He says, stop trying to become a savior. I met a Messiah. I don't know what that means. Sugar sweet seeded watermelons. Just rub it in, Kwame. Rub it in. Okay, enjoy. I want you to just enjoy those watermelons. You know what, Kwame? Send me a picture so I can just tune in to your picture and where you're enjoying seeded watermelon. That'll be fun. Okay. Well, Robert Young says, be yourself. Fly, 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 fly is my mantra from Dr. Darrell Wolfe. He says, first, not just be, but love yourself. But we'll put on the end, love and be yourself. First, love yourself, and then be yourself. Whatever comes out of the loving yourself, that's you. But so many people don't love themselves. They have such low self-esteem that they don't even know who they are. So once you start loving yourself, treating your hair with rosemary oil and letting those curls shine, treating your skin, fasting, eating a lighter diet. Robert Young said, ignore criticism, Native American ceremonies of finished that. Native American ceremonies. Yeah, we could get into those tomorrow. If you're going to watch some YouTube, watch some Native American ceremonies and remember the Trail of Tears that all of our ancestors were on. It wasn't just those people in Native American land. It was all our ancestors, because remember, the melanin people were a part of that journey. We just don't see that very often. And so we need to remember the Trail of Tears that this effed up government tried to destroy. But guess what? We're resilient and we're still here. Our ancestors survived. And even though the Sinners movie pointed out all the vampires in the movie, I want you to remember the vampires are in the government. And the vampires are showing up all over the world in the military-industrial complex because they love blood. Why else would anybody continue to bomb children? This is a little side fact. The majority of the population in Gaza are children. There are more children in Gaza than adults. So when the government, this U.S. government, continues to send bombs over there and destroy the land, try and destroy the land and the people, we say, free Palestine, free Palestine. And I don't care if they take this video down or whatever, I'll put it on Rumble. But we need to have free Palestine t-shirts at this point to let our government know we don't trust them, we don't believe them, and they're just a bunch of vampires with loving blood. They love blood because otherwise they would stop this nonsense. But we are here to be reminded. Let's see, Robert Young, more suggestions for tomorrow, Memorial Day. Positivity through dance. Do some dancing, yes. Save yourself. Boo ha ha. After listening to this, I was visited by them peeps in the sky. Ooh, okay, that's exciting. Never a dull moment. A J-O-B, when you have consciousness and you're in another out of culture war, J-O-B means joy over boredom. Sounds like Kufi has J-O-B, joy over boredom. Because if you got people visiting you, you don't have any boring things going on in your life, do you? Isaiah 57:18. I have seen their ways, but I will heal them. I will guide them and restore. And that's the hope we have for the Diddy crowd, because there's a lot of melanin people involved in this debauchery. And so we hope that that happens, that Isaiah 57 becomes a reality, to heal all these crying men who said they were abused by Diddy, and women. Sad. It's not, it's a movie. I look at it now like a movie. It's not even sad, because grown-ups make choices to be stars or not or whatever. And now this is the price you pay. So let us all learn the lesson. Go, brethren. You guys are really talkative tonight. I was visited by several UFO ships. It changed my life to live in higher free. Can you send some of those UFOs to HollyWeird? Carrot salad with raisins. Yes, yes. Now that's a thing. We had carrot salad with carrots and cabbage, right? Carrots and cabbage. That's coleslaw. Yeah, coleslaw with raisins. That's tradition. That's a good tradition. Pretty healthy. You think about the raw food we had with our grandmothers and all that. Now they don't do that too much. Kufi says, live in higher frequency and live on. We're trying to save our global, what is that? Antebellum global sun dirty people. We have survived all this nonsense. Yeah, it's crazy. So let's do just a couple of minutes of meditation. Can we, to get us in the mood for tomorrow's fasting or separation from the world, from the Memorial Day glutton feast. I know it's going to be tempting, because they'll probably be all over the place tomorrow offering you barbecue and whatever. But maybe you can just resist, and even maybe in the morning get into a little meditation, and maybe you won't want to go to the barbecue feast and all that. But we really do need to make some changes in our lifestyle, because we're in trouble. We're going to lose a whole generation if we don't make some changes. So tomorrow, I'm just suggesting might be a good place to start, a good time to start some meditation. So let us come together right now. Close your eyes and breathe in and out to this ambient South African background music. We connect to our brothers and sisters in South Africa with music and meditation. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Let go of the shame. Let go of the fear. Let go of the worry. Breathe in joy, peace, love, So as we bid you good night, I want to remind you that I have a book on Amazon, and I'm still seeing on Facebook every day women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer. Something's going on. I think too many women took the jab, and now we're seeing the results of it, because it's crazy, crazy how many women are on Facebook every day saying, I just got diagnosed with breast cancer. What do I do? How should I take the chemo? Blah, 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 blah. So here again is the cover of my book, From Fear to Faith, in the master design, available on Amazon. Now, don't let Kindle scare you. If you don't have Kindle, you can send me a Cash App for $7.99, and I'll send you the PDF. So go to my website and send me an email saying, I'm going to send you a Cash App for the book so I can share it. I'm just so concerned about all these women that show up every day. Sometimes I give them advice, sometimes I don't, because if you've already started chemo and all that, and you have faith in that, then you've got a journey to go on to learn some powerful lessons. That's what this is all about. Everything is about lessons on this journey. Everything. So let us share the truth as much as we can, and then step back and realize. Thank you, Francis says, beautiful music. I love that music. It's Kaya on YouTube, meditation. Let us share the truth as much as we can to people. If they don't receive it, it's okay. Lessons are coming for you to get another truth of some kind or another, but it's always there. So thank you all. What a beautiful, beautiful response and comments. Thank you all for joining me tonight and creating solutions for this cultural war we're in. Go back, and the solution, go back to our ancestors. Study your ancestors who grew their own food, who sewed their own clothing. I'm wearing my linen wrap tonight. My white, I put this trim on. And so I'm feeling the transformation of wearing linen and having your body respond to that energy in a way that every little thing, that symptom you might have, a sniffle, or it doesn't stay there, it goes away. So to all my yogi friends out there, namaste and sat nam, shalom. Everybody tune in to Zelda tomorrow, Higher Learning Network. She always has some beautiful meditation for you. And until Friday, I'll be back. Health and well-being with Viata. Stay in love with yourself and treat yourself well. Fasting and prayer tomorrow. That's our goal. Shalom.